Hi, Magic of World travelers. Today we're sinking our teeth into Das Steakhouse, the horror-themed dining experience lurking in the shadows of Dark Universe at Epic Universe. Gothic ambiance, monster-approved meat, and maybe a few surprises from the Undead Kitchen staff. Let's find out if Das Steakhouse is worth your precious park time. What is the story behind the restaurant? Das Steakhouse is an old inn and dining hall built over the ruins of ancient catacombs. Here you can enjoy a meal surrounded by vampire artwork and artifacts. The restaurant is run by vampire familiars, or servants. Das Steakhouse has many paintings that depict the world of vampires from their point of view, painting them as heroes in their stories, while displaying some of Darkmoor's history and referencing its architecture. Now let's talk about the reason you came here. For the food. I had the blood orange chicken sandwich. It is flash fried marinated chicken breast, blood orange sauce, pickles with a familiar slaw on a black bun with fries. This one I really wanted to like. I enjoy sweet and sour chicken. That's one of the first things I get if I'm at an Asian restaurant. And so I really wanted to try this because it sounded yummy. But the orange sauce was kind of one note. It was sweet. It didn't really have a sourness or a spiciness to it. And so I think if it had something a little bit different than just sweet, it would have been better. The chicken was good. It's very creative. I like that they had a black bun to kind of go with the ambiance of a vampire themed restaurant, but it kind of missed. So for me, I'd give it between a it's good and it's fine, maybe leaning more towards the it's fine rating. So if you don't know, I rate my food based on different categories. So the different categories are must eat, it's good, it's fine, not great, and never again. What my husband had was a crimson glazed pork, char siu style roasted pork belly with bloody roast pork dripping sauce, charred green onion, mashed potatoes, roasted baby carrots, acorn squash, crispy maitake mushrooms. The prices here at Das Steakhouse I think are a little higher than some of the other places. The portion sizes I think aren't quite as good as like say Meat Hall. I feel like the sides were kind of smaller and then the meat feels a little smaller. The pork belly was pretty good. The mashed potatoes were all right, although I thought there'd be a bit more flavor. The carrots were good. I just feel like the portion size was small, and I think the price is a little high for what you get. For the crimson glazed pork, I'd give it a it's good. Now my son decided to have the bits and pieces, which is seared and glazed wild mushroom brisket meatloaf with charred green onion, mashed potatoes, roasted baby carrots, acorn squash, crispy maitake mushrooms. The brisket meatloaf was good. It had lots of flavor. The mashed potatoes were also good. So for this meal, I give it a it's good. And I feel like the meat portion was a good size too. Das Steakhouse has different steaks, meat on steaks that you can choose from. I made sure to take home the steak, and on it says Nostro Arbitrio Solos. And so the Latin phrase translates to it's our discretion alone or our sole judgment, which it says that it signifies that a decision or action to be made or carried out entirely according to one's own will or judgment without any external influence or consultation. But I love that they have some extra theming to the meal and they have these steaks. So the other meats that you can have, you have the meatloaf, you have salmon, and you have a chicken. And I think that might be all the steaks that you can choose from. The chicken's called bird on a steak, but I wanted to make sure to take one home as a souvenir. So I think that's really cool that they decided to add a little something extra to their food. They also have some kid meals, which I am really happy about because I have 2 younger kids. I love that when Epic Universe opened that there are at least a few restaurants that have kids meals, so you have a cheaper option and better portions for kids. The kid meal has just 2 options, and these are the options. You have the tender skewer, which is crispy chicken tenders served with grapes and fries. And this one I'd give it a it's fine. It did also come staked with that wooden stake with the Latin phrase on it. For kids, it's great. So it's between like a it's fine and it's good. But the one that I really liked was the meatloaf skewer. I usually don't like meatloaves too much, but this one had a lot of flavor. My son got the meatloaf skewer. It's grape jelly glazed brisket meatloaf served with grapes and fries. This one I give it a it's good. If you're going to choose between the two different options, the two different kid options, I would go for the meatloaf. The grape jelly glazed brisket was unique and it had a lot of flavor to it, and it was something different than just a chicken tender. We also tried the two different desserts, and they are labotokata, which is a Greek yogurt vanilla panna cotta brain with raspberry sauce. For me, this was the star of the show. Out of everything I tried at Das Steakhouse, this was my favorite. It's a panna cotta. I love the theming because it's a brain and it's in some bloody looking sauce. And the sauce has these like white things in it that when I ate them, it reminded me of Pop Rocks, like a raspberry flavored Pop Rock. It was interesting to have a different bite with, you had the creaminess and then you had the little Pop Rocks that kind of popped in your mouth, and it was an interesting sensation. I love the sauce, the contrast of the little bit of tartness of the raspberry with the creaminess was really excellent. And then there was like a white chocolate on the bottom of the brain. It was an excellent dish, very unique and on theme with the restaurant. This one definitely gets a must-eat rating. The other dessert they have is a red velvet death. Red velvet heartbeat coffin cake with chocolate crumbs and puffed rice maggots. It gets points for the looks, but doesn't have a lot of flavor. This dessert I really wanted to love. I love that they shaped it in a coffin and they have a little skull on top, but the flavor wasn't there. I was surprised because I thought there would be more flavor. And usually I'm not someone who loves a ton of frosting, but I thought maybe there wasn't enough frosting in the center, because they have a piece of cake that they split down the center and then they fill it with frosting in the middle. And I felt like I wasn't getting a lot of flavor from the dish, and maybe if there was a little bit more frosting in the middle, then it would have gotten a bit more flavor. I was disappointed by this dish. I'm actually a baker. I love to bake cakes, and I just feel like it lacks some flavor, unfortunately. So for this one, it gets a rating of not great. If you had to choose between the two desserts, I would definitely go for the lava toccata. The restaurant also has a specialty drink, which we did get. It's called the Souvenir Mannequin Mocktail. You can actually get this without the souvenir beaker, but if you're going to get it, I would definitely recommend getting the souvenir beaker because the drink looks really awesome. It's a pineapple syrup, blue raspberry syrup, passion fruit syrup, emerald prism powder, Sprite served in a souvenir beaker. This drink is very sweet. It's something you definitely want to get just to get the souvenir beaker. I'd say the Mannequin Mocktail, it was good. My kids really loved it. I just thought it was maybe a little too sweet. They have several different kinds of syrups in there, and that's probably why. But they also have a prism powder, so it looks really cool when you hold it up. It sparkles, and it's a must for me simply because it has that beaker. So if you're going to get it, definitely get the beaker so you can take that home as a souvenir. Something special that Epic Universe does is that they have these Coca-Cola freestyle machines, and in some of the worlds, you can find a specialty drink that is special just for that world. Not all the worlds have it, but 3 out of the 5 do. And Dark Universe is one of those worlds that has a specialty drink. And inside Das Steakhouse, you can find the Coca-Cola freestyle machines. And you can find the Screaming Berry, which out of the 3 different specialty drinks, it was my favorite. The How to Train Your Dragon at Mead Hall, you can find that specialty drink there because they have Coca-Cola freestyle machines in Mead Hall. You can find another Coca-Cola freestyle machine by the Lacey's Cottage. And each of the machines should have the Screaming Berry in it. So when you're in Dark Universe, make sure to stop by and try the Screaming Berry. Overall for Das Steakhouse, I enjoyed the vibe of the restaurant. It's very dark and cool. Some of the seats have bats on them. I love the decor, And I think they did a great job at theming this restaurant and creating dishes that are perfect for a vampire type theme. But I wasn't wowed by the food. I really wanted to love the food here because it's very creative. I think they did a great job at theming it. I think the flavors maybe just need to be adjusted a little bit, and maybe the prices should be a little bit cheaper. But I actually enjoyed the food more at the Burning Blade Tavern. The Burning Blade Tavern is the other restaurant that you can eat at. The Burning Blade Tavern specializes in specialty drinks, but it also has some side items and a hamburger and I think a few other items. But the food there is really excellent. I've only tried 2 things so far, but both were great, and I've heard from other people that the other dishes there are really good too. So if I were to choose between where to eat, I'd probably go to the Burning Blade Tavern. Although unfortunately, the Burning Blade Tavern is extremely small and has not a lot of places to sit, whereas Das Steakhouse has a lot of places where you can sit. They even have an outdoor section. If you want to try Das Steakhouse, then you should, and maybe your experience will be different. The restaurant as a whole gets a "it's fine." Eat here for the gothic vampire vibes, but don't expect to be wowed by the food. So that's it for now. If you'd like to see more, I have plenty of other videos that you can watch about the Universal theme parks, and make sure to hit that subscribe button and a thumbs up if you like this video, and I'll see you in the parks.